Hey everyone, I'm Paula Shaw and welcome to the monthly astrology snapshot for the month, the lunar month, which kicks off at the new moon in Cancer tomorrow on the 10th of July everywhere in the world. So I haven't done one of these for a little bit because I personally experienced the eclipses in such a big, powerful way. And, as someone that studies astrology, I am still in awe of how these cycles work. I truly don't go, oh, there's an eclipse coming. I mean, certain events played out that there's no way I made happen that have altered my life forever. And I'm okay, and it's okay. And let's put it this way, eclipses are about changing it up. They're a moment in time where any karma that you've been experiencing, which is just the law of action, cause and effect, where the eclipses come in and symbolically they can take out any karma that no longer serves you and end karmic threads that continue in your life, karmic loops, I call them. And they can bring in completely new karma at the same time that you have that has no direct link to what's already happening. So completely new dynamics can enter into your life in ways that you could never prepare for. So they're quite extraordinary. And this new moon that's coming up in Cancer actually completes on this eclipse cycle because it's the full cycle after the last lunation. So anyone that's been feeling the turbulence of this time with regard to eclipses, it's going to calm down and it will go into working at a more subtle level. So whatever really altered, if you're one that experienced that in the last 6 weeks, if anything altered in your life radically, give it until the end of the year to, I guess you could say, find its rhythm, its way of integrating and adjusting into your world. So, but that intensity of the big events, that is done at this new moon. So let's talk about this beautiful new moon in Cancer. Every year we have a new moon in Cancer, and it's usually a time to really nourish and find what nurtures us and, come back to the hearth and home and family and tribe. And this one will do that, absolutely. In fact, it's more important than ever that we do that, given that we are moving through still some metacycles that are volatile and will be until the end of the year, given that literally all these old structures, the patriarchal structures, are crumbling before our very eyes. This new moon is an opportunity to really come back to what nourishes you. Now, Pluto is an aspect to this new moon, and I find that extremely interesting because Pluto's in aspect to the first quarter and it's in aspect to the full moon this month, which tells me that Pluto's watching. And when Pluto is casting its gaze on us, this means that something needs to transform, something needs to go deeper. Plus, we're being asked to look at our relationship to power. Now, Cancer is connected to the mother, home, hearth, nourishment, nurturance. Cancer takes the seed and grows it to fullness. When Pluto's in the mix, for me, that feels like the great mother. That feels like the primordial mother, the original mother, the great cosmic mother that birthed everything, all of us, women and men, the great, great, great beginning. So at this new moon, take a moment to dive in deep. Like all the chaos, the next few months will be volatile. I feel like it's like the process, the cards are falling and, the piece that held it all together has been pulled out and we're in the process of the unraveling. Next year, I hope, is when the dust may start to settle. And then the following year is a bit of like an in-between. And then the year after that, 2024, 2025, we're going to start seeing some very new energies, which I have no idea what that will look like, but it's going to change up a lot. We will be moving in directions that we can't move from the past. This has to change. No, it doesn't have to, it's going to. So at this new moon with the primordial, deep cosmic mother, the center of the universe, let's say that, not the galaxy, the universe from which everything came, you can imagine it's like going to the deepest part of the ocean, sitting down where everything is still, warm, nurtured, while the waves crash above and all the crazy dynamics are playing out up there. This new moon can be that for you if you just take a moment and sit. And then feel your connection to the Great Mother. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but feel that connection to where it all began. And it might help you get out of the fear and get out of the crazy storm above the ocean and bring you back to a moment of, you know, I can be with this. Look within, don't look without. You look without right now, you're not going to see anything that feels good. There's just fear. As the old, you imagine you're standing there watching the castle fall, watching the tower crash. That's not a comfortable feeling. But if you're within while it's crashing and you're in a safe distance and you've gone deeper than the problem, then you can be with that in a way that, yep, you can experience some fear. Of course, this isn't about being completely fearless, but it's about understanding, and it's about knowing that we can handle all of this. We are moving into Aquarian times, and this is going to be really triggered at the full moon this month. This month we have a full moon in Aquarius, and it's at the 0 degree of Aquarius, which is where the grand conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter happened last year, December 21st. I remember there were meditation groups, there were global events. I felt a sense of hope mixed with fear, obviously, naturally. And I felt humans go, come on, let's dream up something else. So this was a bringing in of a frequency, an impulse of Aquarius. And the Aquarius impulse is about equity, it's about fairness, it's about community, but it's different. We're going to start finding a deeper connection to different types of community. It's global now. We've got technology that allows us to build groups and connect with people who share our interests, who share our values. We're not just limited to the physical warm bodies of the space that we're in. We get to connect. Now, there's a shadow to everything, and the shadow to Aquarius is that we live in an echo chamber and we only hear what we want to hear. So watch that. Be careful of that. Still go out and mix out with people that don't have the same interests as you, and practice that global family. So I'm excited by these Aquarian times where we get to connect with people that see it the way we do. We don't have to shout from the rooftop our opinions to the whole world and, you know, deal with that interaction where not everyone agrees, unless you want to, of course. But we can get out and build these communities. So this full moon in Aquarius is activating the impulse of the new paradigms, and I find it really not a coincidence that there's a second full moon in Aquarius next month, 2 in a row. That doesn't always happen. It only happens when the new moon falls at the beginning of the season in the early degrees of Aquarius, and then there'll be one at the later degrees. So 2 in a row, activating all this energy. Pluto's still there going, come on, let's evolve, let's transform, let's keep strong as what breaks down does what it needs to do. The process is started. We can't stop what's happened, but we can deal with how we experience it. We absolutely can. We can tune back in, we can ground back in and connect with our understanding, our wisdom, and our true power. This is a moment from my end to practice mindfulness, to practice being the observer, to practice whatever your practice is. Practice being meditation, walking, gardening, singing, writing, journaling. Don't think practice is like discipline, but a practice is a setting of an intention of how you want to navigate these times. And then engaging in activities and exercises that support this, even if it's your practice is having therapy or a healing or going into nature, doing a ritual, sitting with your oracle cards, listening to beautiful music that shifts your energy. Stay with that at these times, because from where I'm looking, it's not going to settle down anytime soon. And it's more important than ever that you don't look out there and focus on the noise. Be aware, be mindful, but don't get involved, because you'll just get pulled into the breaking down dynamic. Steady yourself, steady for the course. So next month, as I said, we go into a really big Aquarian energy, and as I said already, there is a few months here where it will be extremely volatile, and then we'll move into eclipses at the end of the year. Things will shift up. We'll have another exact square between Mars and Uranus at the end of, Saturn and Uranus at the end of the year, where everything will intensify again. So Saturn wants to restrict. Saturn is like the government. It's like structure, boundaries. And like I said before, Uranus wants everything to evolve, to break through, to innovate now for everyone, Saturn's not the bad guy. Saturn helps us have an experience of mortality. Yeah, not comfortable, but it allows us to experience time and space, a karma, in a sense of that there are limits or consequences to everything we do. So when you bring these two together in the times that we're living in, there is an impulse to restructure. And I'm just getting, while I'm speaking, that the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at the solstice last year, Jupiter is expansive. This was connecting to this full moon. Jupiter's expansive and Saturn is structure. And when these two come together in a healthy way, it can create amazing things, amazing, highly beneficial, highly evolved new structures. It really, really can. And I just had this sense that conjunction to me feels like a sign that this is not going to be a complete just unraveling and a breaking down and we're just degenerating. I actually feel like that impulse, and maybe because this full moon's hitting that point is why I'm feeling it, because remember, full moons are the culmination point. So the new moon is the sun and the moon come close together, then the moon starts to separate and the light, and it's filling up with the impulse of the sun or whatever its wish or its prayer was when it was in the depths of the primordial darkness. And then it comes around and it's a full moon. So here we are at a culmination point on that degree, guys. Like that, the odds of that in context of this time, everything as I piece it together more and more, I actually have hope. Okay, maybe I'm crazy. I actually have hope that this is for us, that this breaking down that we're going through is intentional. It's to create space for something different. I'm not going to say it's better, because from where I look, everything has a bit of both. Like I said, Aquarius has a shadow. Aquarius can be echo chambers and little groups separating and us against them. It really can. And I'm sure that's going to happen. However, if you leverage or you've done the inner work and you're harnessing your own practice of kindness or whatever your practice is, if you just practice kindness, your life will change. Like I highly recommend just be as kind as you can in every moment to yourself and everyone around you. But if you've been doing inner work and aligning yourself with the higher frequencies, then when these new paradigms come in, and they're there now, you've just got to look. Right now it's noisy, the demolition sites, it's crumbling and it's loud and there's dirt and there's blasts and it's scary. But if you're calm as you can be, and you're going in, not looking at the demolition, you'll see behind that, you'll start to see glimpses of oh, there's something new that's going to be built. You'll see the new equipment coming, the new materials to build what's going to replace that old building, that old patriarchal up, down, vertical building. I think, maybe it's like an AI building, a virtual reality. I know that I'm not into transhumanism or anything like that. I don't want to get into that. But maybe it's something more quantum or, we don't know. But look for it. Look. And if you've been doing the inner work and you're staying true to wisdom, kindness, understanding, and you're not just wasting your energy with fear, then you'll see it. You'll be able to align yourself with it. And at this full moon, listen for insights. Look for inspiration as that peak happens between the moon, as it connects to those cycles. Open your heart, open your mind. Really, truly stay with it. Now, another thing that's playing out this lunar month is Mars and Venus are in a dance. They're conjunct. They're in quite a close conjunction most of the month. And at the beginning, it's in Leo. And Leo is the sign, the archetype of the king and the queen, the leadership, leading from the heart at its highest. At its lowest, it's a little bit arrogant, in a narcissistic in the shadow. But at its highest, it's the most open-hearted sign, and generous and giving and abundant and loving. And when Mars and Venus are in a dynamic together, and what I've seen in people's charts, is there can be a harmonizing between the Mars energy and the Venus energy. Mars is, I can go for it, the warrior, I can get what I need. And Venus is, I know what makes me feel good. I know how to love and relate and connect and be in the beauty of life. So when these two are together in Leo, the highest expression is at the individual level. We could start to feel some harmonizing between our intention to look after ourselves and get what we need. So to feel good on this planet. Okay, it's a rocky, rough road, like it's not always easy on earth, and it doesn't have to always be hard and scary too. And I have a feeling when I look at all these dynamics that some of the volatility could be coming from people that really want what they want, and they're going to go for it. And I'm seeing this, we can see it in the news with the massive protests in the UK. Lots is going on, but people are like, actually enough. And I'm not saying we should all, I'm not saying that what we should do, because I don't know what we should do. I'm just connecting the dots and sharing my observations. But I feel like there's something about, what do we really want? This world can be good. We've got all of the resources to make Earth a great place already. It's all here. And I feel the more individuals get that, it's going to affect the collective. Truly, truly, truly. So this lunar month, sit with that new moon in Cancer. Go deep. Go deeper than the drama. Feel into what will nourish you. Work with that Venus-Mars energy and really understand that, what makes you feel good. And I don't mean this in the shadow of the narcissistic selfishness. That's the shadow. I mean, it's something, and I know I always share it because it's impacts me so, so much, is the Dalai Lama's teaching that the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to be kind to others. If you really nourish your tribe, you're going to be happier. Just imagine for a moment you live in a village and you're super happy. You're the happiest person there, and you've got heaps of wealth, and you're the richest one, you're the happiest one, and you go out to the town and you're just feeling great, and everyone else is poor. They don't have anything, but you've got all of it. They're miserable, and they look at you with misery. I don't know, if you're still happy at that point, there's a problem, So give, be generous. That is so loving to you. And obviously there's a balance to that. You can give too much. I think you guys can understand what I'm trying to say here. So really tune into what you can give, how you can nourish. Where is the power in nourishing yourself, and how does that then feed back? Because if you are a truly nourished individual, you will look after others. Unless there's something broken in you, which is so rare, majority of people, when they're nourished, they will give it back. They will go beyond and share. It gets boring. I've sat with clients that have achieved everything, they've self-actualized, and they're like, what do I do now? And then it's about self-transcendence, which Abraham Maslow did write about in his last years, going beyond self, where your life isn't about you. You've actualized, reached your peak. Venus, Mars in Leo, you've reached your peak. This Aquarius, new moon, the 0 point, your greatest vision for the future, your impulse. And you're like, I want to share this. It's natural. Most people will. Even if it's not about being known and they do it anonymously, you watch. Anyone you know that's successful, you observe what they do. So, and then at this full moon, reconnect with that vision. Listen for inspiration. Wait for the impulse. And look for where the magic is at this point. Look for the new paradigms that are appearing now, and don't get into the fear. It reduces your immune system. Fact. I know it's scary out there. Trust me, I have my moments, but I practice what I'm preaching right now and truly go deep with the mother. Okay, I love you all. I will see you soon. Hopefully the astrology doesn't knock me out again, but take care everyone, and so much love.